blasts rock Kerala religious event. Details unravel of planned strike. "57-year-old Dominic the bomber." He killed 3 people, including a 12-year-old. What was the motive? How did Dominic get access to IED? Kerala becoming a terror hub?
For Pinarayi Vijayan, the word communal is now he's using it conveniently to cover either his ineptness or his corruption or his appeasement politics.
Kerala triple blasts. Top focus on 6 p.m.
Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and our focus over the next 30 minutes is going to be on the investigation into the Kerala triple blasts. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of politics that these blasts have been communalized. But let's put the focus rather on the investigation and serious questions that arise on why we're seeing these kind of blasts, these kind of IED attacks taking place in Kerala. We'll be getting you that and much more. A look at the headlines first. Big setback for Sisodia in Liquorgate case after High Court, Supreme Court dismisses bail plea of Sisodia. Top Court says transfer of 338 crores tentatively established. Heat mounts on Mawa Moitra. Sources say MEA has written to Lok Sabha Ethics Committee claiming Darshan Hiranandani signed his declaration in Dubai. Sensational Dubai link to Kerala bomber. Suspect lived and worked in UAE for years. Dominic was expert in electric circuit making. Dominic carefully plotted Kerala blast, built bombs reportedly at his ancestral home. Train mishap in Andhra kills 14 and injures over 50. Chief Minister Vijayan visits injured passengers in the hospital and visits the accident site as well. Israeli hostage Shani Lok's body found in Gaza. 23-year-old was abducted. Semi-naked body was paraded by Hamas. And scary images of anti-Jew hunt at Russian airport. Kill Jews chants by a lynch mob hunting Israelis at the Dagestan airport. Let's begin with breaking news. In the latest on the Supreme Court's setback to Manish Sisodia after rejecting his bail petition, we're getting you the inside track on AAP's legal strategy. Sources telling us that the Aam Aadmi Party will be now filing a review petition. Sisodia's lawyer will file a review plea in the Supreme Court against the rejection of his bail. This is another last-ditch legal attempt to get some relief for Manish Sisodia in the face of non-stop setbacks for him. They were really counting on him getting positive news from the Supreme Court, but with that not happening, after hours of huddles, the Aam Aadmi Party has reportedly decided that a review petition will be filed in the Supreme Court. Amit Bharadwaj is joining us with more details on this. Amit, this is as big a setback as it gets for the Aam Aadmi Party. One perhaps that they weren't fully prepared for. We've not seen many responses really coming from the AAP since the news broke from the Supreme Court. But now their legal strategy is clear. They're going to continue to explore all possible avenues.
Absolutely right, Akshita. You know, Aam Aadmi Party was hoping that Manish Sisodia will be granted bail by the Supreme Court, and rightly so because of the kind of observations that were made by the Supreme Court during the bail hearing. Now, this particular piece of news that the bail has been rejected and or tentatively there's rupees 338 crore rupees of proceeds of crime or money sale of sorts that's been deferred in the order to Aam Aadmi Party by
Okay,
surprise.
we're having a bit of a problem there with Amit's audio. We'll reconnect with him, but that's the latest update on Sisodia's bail application petition being rejected by the Supreme Court. The Aam Aadmi Party is all set to now file a review petition. 24 hours since 3 blasts rocked a convention center where nearly 2,000 Jehovah's Witnesses members had gathered. The accused, Dominic Martin, a man who surrendered after he confessed, took to social media to say he single-handedly carried out this attack, is being questioned as we speak. Details coming out of exactly how this particular attack and this blast was planned. IED, low-grade explosive devices, were planted. The suspicion is that the accused actually made them in his own residence. We've seen in the last many months several such incidents in Kerala, some being a case of terror. This too, in many's opinion, will be a case of terror, considering that the accused planned to ensure maximum casualties. But let's get you details of exactly what's happened and what the investigative agencies have revealed so far.
Triple blast in Kerala has turned on alarm bells nationwide. The toll in the Sunday Convention Centre blast rose to 3 after a 12-year-old succumbed to burn wounds on Monday. India Today accessed NIA probe details which revealed how low-grade explosives were used in the IED device. Sources say toy car remote, mobile phone, battery, circuit and firecracker explosives were used for the IED device and was reportedly made by the accused, Dominic Martin, in his ancestral home.
These are the visuals from Zamra Convention Center. You can see how this entire area has been cordoned off. There is no permission for media or anyone else to enter. It is only the NSG teams, the NIA teams and the Kerala police officials who are allowed to enter this premises as of now.
Teams of the Anti-Terror Force, National Security Guard and Anti-Terror Probe Agency NIA are in Kerala to assist the state government.
So the forensic teams, they're all, at the spot trying to gather as much evidence as possible to understand what exactly happened, what were the materials that were used for this explosion.
But the Vijayan government is constantly under fire from the BJP, which has been calling this attack an outcome of rampant radicalization in the state, prompting a sharp retort from the Kerala Chief Minister.
അതൊരു പ്രത്യേക വിഭാഗത്തെ താറടിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയായിരുന്നു, പ്രത്യേക വിഭാഗത്തെ ലക്ഷ്യവെച്ചുകൊണ്ടുള്ളതായിരുന്നു. നമുക്കതിൽ ആശ്ചര്യപ്പെടേണ്ടതില്ല. കാരണം രാജീവ് ചന്ദ്രശേഖറും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കൂട്ടാളികളും അത്തരം ഒരു മാനസികാവസ്ഥയിൽ നിൽക്കുന്നവരാണ്.
For Pinarayi Vijayan, the word communal is now he's using it conveniently to cover either his ineptness or his corruption or his appeasement politics. I never said anything yesterday excepting to say how is Hamas's chief, after just 10 days after creating rape, murder, beheading of children, is allowed to address youth of Kerala and incite them and radicalize them.
The explosions, which killed 3, took place where 2,000 members of the Christian denomination Jehovah's Witnesses had gathered for a prayer meeting on Sunday. But what triggered the attack? Can terror angle be ruled out? With Shibimol KG and Shilpa Nair in Ernakulam. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you the 5 big updates you really need to know on the investigation. What's transpired in the last 24 hours? What have agencies revealed? First, that a low-grade explosive was used. NSG sources have confirmed this. Whatever material is left of the bomb, of the IED device, it's been taken in right now for further investigation. Besides that, what they've also confirmed is that this was seemingly made at home. And the reason they say that is a toy car remote, mobile phone parts, a firecracker explosive, explosive. All of this was used to make 3 IEDs which were planted in different parts of the convention centre. Now the accused, reportedly, Dominic Martin, has confessed in custody that he made these bombs in his ancestral home in Alava. But that's something that agencies are yet to corroborate, because he's made several statements in his confession, all of which needs to be also backed up with concrete evidence. Now, what he's also said is that his in-laws, his mother-in-law and his sister-in-law, were actually in the same convention centre where the blasts took place. But he's reportedly told officials that he planted the bombs in such a way that none of his loved ones or family members were affected. Remember that the death toll now has reached 3, and that's because, unfortunately, a 12-year-old girl who was in a critical condition yesterday with 80 to 90% burn injuries has tragically succumbed as well, taking the death toll now to 3. There are nearly 50 people who've been injured as a result of this blast. Shilpa Nair is joining us with more details on this. Shilpa, good evening. There have been a lot of attempts, of course, to communalize this particular case, but that's very clear. While the investigation is still on, so far the motive attributed to this crime was that Dominic Martin, someone who was a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, wanted to teach them a lesson over some of the preachings that they had.
Well, absolutely, yes, Akshita. In fact, after the explosion took place, the first briefing on this, explosion by the DGP, the one pertinent point that he said is that we are going to continuously monitor social media networks, social media sites. If anyone is seen to be posting, anything that's communally sensitive, spreading communal hatred, then strict action would be taken. The Chief Minister too had reiterated that, and the opposition leaders here as well, several Congress leaders, all of them, unitedly said that this is not the time to this is not the time to politicize this entire issue, but to stand together and make sure that the atmosphere is not vitiated. So that is something that Kerala has stood very, very firm on, that let there be no room for any sort of communalism or communal hatred to be spread in the name of this explosion that has taken place. And as far as the investigation into the case is concerned, the entire investigation is now centered around a man named Dominic Martin. He is someone who surrendered at the Kodagara police station yesterday. This is in the Thrissur district. He had surrendered himself before the police, saying that I take full responsibility of the blast. I was behind these blasts. Now, since then, the police have been thoroughly interrogating this man. He's been brought to Kalamassery. He's at the AR camp, the police camp here in Kalamassery, and throughout the day, top brass of the Kerala police have been interrogating him, checking every claim that he's made. And now what we're given to understand from our police sources is that this man has in fact given key evidences to the police. There were mobile clips that he has shared. There are some bills that he has shared with the police. So he has come fully prepared to give all the evidences. In a short while from now, we're expecting an update from the police department regarding the arrest of Dominic Martin. He has not been officially arrested as of now. He is only in the custody of the Kerala police. So an update on the arrest is expected very, very soon. The Kerala police, of course, had registered an FIR in this case. They had invoked sections of UAPA and Explosive Substances Act amongst other sections. But very interestingly, Dominic Martin, he had put out a Facebook video just before.
Let's talk about that. I'll tell our viewers about it. Shilpa, just stay with me. Our next report, we give you all the details really about this 57-year-old man, seemingly normal, lived a normal life, was in the UAE for about 2 years, came to Kerala 2 months ago, was teaching English after serving largely as an electrician and plumber over here in Dubai. This man suddenly decides to perpetrate this kind of an attack, and let's highlight that he has no prior criminal record. He's not had anything to do with any sort of violent acts, which is what's led to the question, what was really the motive? Was it to teach Jehovah's Witnesses a lesson, as he claims, or is there a lot more than what meets the eye? A 57-year-old man suspected to be the perpetrator of the Kerala triple blasts in Ernakulam. Dominic Martin surrendered before the police hours after the blast at a Jehovah's Witness congregation, claiming full responsibility for the attack. Releasing a video on social media, Dominic says he single-handedly carried out the attack.
യഹോവയുടെ സാക്ഷികൾ നടത്തിയിരുന്ന ഒരു കൺവെൻഷനിൽ ബോംബ് സ്ഫോടനം ഉണ്ടാവുകയും ഗുരുതരമായ പ്രത്യാഘാതങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാവുകയും ചെയ്തു. എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചുവെന്ന് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ല. അതിൻ്റെ പൂർണ്ണ ഉത്തരവാദിത്വം ഞാൻ ഏറ്റെടുക്കുകയാണ്. ഞാനാണ് ആ ബോംബ് സ്ഫോടനം അവിടെ നടത്തിയത്.
A seemingly normal man who has no terror links, no prior record of violence. What prompted him then to allegedly carry out this kind of an attack? Dominic is married, worked as a plumber and electrician in Dubai for years and came back to Kerala just 2 months ago. Since then, he's been teaching English to students in Kalamassery.
കൊറോണ വന്ന ശേഷം പുള്ളി ജോലി പോയി. അവിടെ ആരും വരാതെ ഇപ്പം പുള്ളി പോയത് ഇപ്പോൾ 2 വർഷമായിട്ടില്ല ഗൾഫിൽ പോയിട്ട്. പുള്ളി നമ്മളോട് അങ്ങനെ മോശമായിട്ട് ഇതുവരെ പെരുമാറിയിട്ടില്ല. പുള്ളി പോകുമ്പോൾ ചിരിക്കുക, 2 വാക്ക് സംസാരിക്കും, അത്രയൊക്കെ പുള്ളി സംസാരിക്കാറുള്ളൂ. പിന്നെ ഇവിടെ അയൽവക്കായിട്ടൊന്നും യാതൊരു അങ്ങനെ കമ്പനിയൊന്നും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. ഞാനിപ്പോൾ വീട്ടിലിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്തായിരുന്നു പുള്ളിയുടെ ഭാര്യ വന്നിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ചേട്ടൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ഫേസ്ബുക്കിൽ പോസ്റ്റ് ഇട്ടേക്കണ് പുള്ളിയാണ് ചെയ്തതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ്. അപ്പം നമുക്കൊരു സ്റ്റോക്കായി പോയിരുന്നു. അവർ വരുമ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര ഇതായിരുന്നു, കരച്ചിലൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു അവർ പറഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ അറിഞ്ഞില്ല ഇതിങ്ങനെ പുള്ളി ചെയ്യണമെന്ന്, ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് നമ്മൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചിട്ടില്ല എന്ന് അവർ പറഞ്ഞു.
So what led to Dominic carrying out this kind of an attack? Hear from the man himself on why he allegedly planted 3 bombs in the convention center.
16 വർഷത്തോളം ഞാൻ ഈ പ്രസ്ഥാനത്തിൻ്റെ കൂടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന വ്യക്തിയാണ്. അന്നൊന്നും ഞാനൊട്ടും തന്നെ സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ട് എടുത്തിരുന്നില്ല കാര്യങ്ങൾ. എന്നാൽ ഒരു 6 വർഷത്തിന് മുമ്പ് വരെ ഞാൻ ചിന്തിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഇത് വളരെ തെറ്റായ ഒരു പ്രസ്ഥാനമാണെന്നും ഇതിലെ പഠിപ്പിക്കലുകൾ വളരെ രാജ്യദ്രോഹപരമാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയുകയും ഞാനത് തിരുത്തണം എന്നവരോട് പലവട്ടി ആവശ്യപ്പെടുകയും ചെയ്തു. എന്നിരുന്നാൽ ഇവരാരും അത് ചെയ്യാൻ തയ്യാറാകുന്നില്ല.
Believe it or not, Dominic's family members were also at the venue. His mother-in-law and sister-in-law were a part of the gathering. But he reportedly told officials he planted the bomb away from them to ensure his loved ones weren't harmed. There are worrying questions that continue to emerge. How did Dominic get access to an IED device? Or being an electrician earlier, did he make it using simple household items? The investigation continues.
He's a native of Kochi and he had surrendered at the Kodagara police station in Thrissur and claiming that he committed the crime and he takes full responsibility of the crime. Later, the police was questioning him and a video started surfacing online where he says that why he committed it. He says he was a part of Jehovah's Witnesses group and he's been a part of them since the last 16 years and he had a lot of problems with their ideologies. They were imparting anti-national ideologies. They were injecting poison into the heads of the small children to turn them against the country is what his justification is. With video journalist Tinku Rajshekhar, Shibmol Kiji for India Today from Ernakulam.
I want to bring in now Shibimol on this broadcast as well. Shibi, you've been tracking the latest coming in on the investigation. Dominic Martin has made several revelations in custody, even in his confession video, of course. He's given out his motive. He said that I single-handedly did it. There's nobody else who's responsible, and that's why he's gone ahead and surrendered before the police. But is this version really being bought by the authorities, or do they believe that, there could be a larger conspiracy here or others who are involved?
Well, Akshita, from what we're understanding, the police, even before the person here, Dominic Martin, had surrendered, they had already collected information. There was a CCTV visual that they have found in the initial inspection and they had checked it with the Infopark police station. Kochi is the latest that we're learning right now. And based on that, they had already identified the culprit and then only he came and surrendered is what we're learning from police sources. But yes, all his claims has been bought by the police because they had clear clue and clear evidences even before he confessed and surrendered at the Kodagara police station in Thrissur. So that's possibly why the police has zeroed on him. And even Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan today was saying that all the claims that was made by him has been verified. But yes, there are other things that needs to be verified, additional questions that will be raised, additional doubts that's there in the minds of people
to the crime at this point, besides his statement. Shibi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So is there any evidence that links Dominic Martin directly to the crime besides his statement?
Well, Akshita, the police is saying that they had collected CCTV visuals and there are also video evidences recovered from his phone that shows he committed the crime. There are, whether it's search history or whether the videos that were submitted by him proves that he is the one who has committed the crime. But yes, the police needs to officially come out and give out the details. But what we are learning is that they do have evidences apart from what he has confessed through the video. They have collected evidences. In fact, we are learning that his mother-in-law and sister-in-law were also inside that same hall. They are also jail witnesses. They were inside the hall.
But he says that his in-laws were there. They didn't get injured because he planted the bombs accordingly, knowing where they'd stand in the crowd. He was there at the event and then left before the bombs were detonated. Thanks, Shibi, for getting us those details. Thanks to Shilpa Nair as well. I want to cut across to breaking news also that's coming in now on the story. Now, of course, over the weekend, there was a lot of focus on the event that took place in Kerala, the youth wing of the Jamiat-e-Islami, in which a Hamas terrorist actually addressed the people. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, while reacting to this, referred to the Hamas terrorist as a Palestinian fighter. It's led to once again a political showdown, but I want to play out for you exactly what the Kerala Chief Minister said. Now, he's maintained that, they have a right to hold this kind of an event legally. Having said that, there will be an investigation, but it's his reference to the Hamas terrorist as a Palestinian fighter that's now being talked about.
Jamaat-e-Islami എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സംഘടനയുണ്ടല്ലോ, അവരുടെ യുവജന വിഭാഗമാണ് സോൾഡാരിറ്റി വിങ്. അവരുടേതായ ഒരു പരിപാടി മലപ്പുറത്ത് നടന്നിരുന്നു. ആ പരിപാടിയിലാണ് ഈ പറയുന്ന പാലസ്തീനിയൻ പോരാളി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരാൾ സംസാരിച്ചത്. രാജീവ് ചന്ദ്രശേഖറും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കൂട്ടാളികളും നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്ത് സ്വീകരിക്കുന്ന നിലപാട് ഈ പാലസ്തീൻ ഐക്യദാർഢ്യം പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പ്രകടനങ്ങളും മറ്റും നടക്കുമ്പോൾ, അതിൻ്റെതായ പരിപാടികൾ നടക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി കേസെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് നോക്കലാണ്. അവരെ കേസിൽ കൊടുക്കാൻ നോക്കുകയാണ്. അത് കേരളത്തിൽ നടക്കില്ല. സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ലാത്ത എന്തെങ്കിലും നടന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് പോലീസ് പരിശോധിക്കുകയും നടപടികൾ എടുക്കുകയും ചെയ്യും. അത്ര മാത്രമേ അതിൽ കാണേണ്ടതായിട്ടുള്ളൂ.
We'll get you all the reactions to that comment made by the Kerala Chief Minister. The investigation is still underway. So it's too early really at this point to describe or get into details of exactly what's happened and whether the accused, Dominic Martin, is really the one who planted that bomb as he claims. Evidence still being gathered and we're going to continue tracking the story closely here on India Today. That's all we have time for this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks for tuning in. Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Scan the QR code now.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
Minister Pinarayi Vijayan in his press meet read out a tweet of yours and said that you're setting a communal agenda here. How do you want to respond?
No, look, I think for Pinarayi Vijayan, the word communal is now he's using it conveniently to cover either his ineptness or his corruption or his appeasement politics. I never said anything yesterday excepting to say, how is it that Hamas, as an organization today, is allowed a free pass in Kerala? How is Hamas's chief, after just 10 days after creating rape, murder, beheading of children, is allowed to address youth of Kerala and incite them and radicalize them with not even one effort from the government of Kerala to prevent it from happening, even though it is against the law, it is against the IPC, it is against the constitution. And when I raise these uncomfortable questions, he says, I am a communal person. And he goes on to say, I spit poison against the community. I never mentioned any community. I only talked about Hamas as being the terrorist organization. The mistake is that Pinarayi Vijayan's appeasement politics, for him, the moment anybody talks about Hamas and terror, he automatically thinks that we are meaning the entire community.
भारत सरकार को तो कम से कम कुछ बोलना चाहिए था, लेकिन अभी तक चुप हैं। जो पहले हुआ करता था कि रेल मंत्री सबसे पहले आकर के अपना स्पष्टीकरण देते थे, जो भी होता था। कई बार ऐसा हुआ कि इस्तीफा दे देते थे मॉरल ग्राउंड के ऊपर, लेकिन यहाँ कोई मोरालिटी नहीं है। जब प्रधानमंत्री में भी कोई मोरालिटी नहीं है तो उनकी जो सिपह सलाहकार हैं वो क्यों किसी एथिक्स को फॉलो करेंगे?
In spite of the hue and cry being made by this government and the railway ministry across the nation that they are doing something new and innovative, but there is no let up of accident. Within a span of